Story 1 of 5. Major fire at Viva Energy's Geelong oil refinery disrupts Australia's fuel supply. Major fire at Viva Energy's Geelong oil refinery disrupts Australia's fuel supply. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The fire broke out at Viva Energy's refinery in Corio, Geelong, Victoria, on April 15, 2026, around 11:05 p.m. local time. The refinery supplies 10% of Australia's fuel and 50% of Victoria's fuel. The fire was contained to the MOGAS, motor gasoline, section of the refinery, affecting petrol production. Firefighters took over 12 hours to extinguish the blaze, which was finally put out around noon on April 16, 2026. The fire caused no injuries, but the refinery was operating at reduced capacity, 60% for petrol and 80% for diesel and jet fuel. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian and ABC report that the fire was contained to the MOGAS section, but the asiannews.com.au mention that the fire was initially described as quite ferocious and catastrophic, suggesting a broader initial impact. The Guardian states that the fire was unprecedented in scale, while ABC and news.com.au describe it as a major hazard facility but do not use the term unprecedented. ABC and news.com.au report that the fire was not expected to cause long-term damage, but news.com.au also mentions that the refinery was running at full capacity due to the Middle East crisis, which could have exacerbated the risk. This story was covered by ABC News, The Guardian, news.com.au, SBS News, Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Story 2 of 5. Florida AG launches criminal probe into OpenAI ChatGPT's role in FSU mass shooting. Florida AG launches criminal probe into OpenAI ChatGPT's role in FSU mass shooting. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Florida Attorney General James Othmeier announced a criminal investigation into OpenAI ChatGPT's potential role in the Florida State University, FSU, shooting on April 21, 2026, including subpoenas to OpenAI. The shooting at FSU occurred on April 2025, resulting in 2 fatalities, Robert Morales and another victim, and 6 injuries. The alleged shooter, Phoenix Ickner, 20 at the time, allegedly communicated frequently with ChatGPT before the attack, seeking advice on guns, ammunition, and targeting students. Ickner faces charges of first-degree murder, 2 counts, and attempted first-degree murder. He has pleaded not guilty. OpenAI spokesperson Kate Waters stated ChatGPT provided factual responses from public sources and did not encourage illegal activity, while cooperating with authorities. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian states Othmeier called the investigation a marked escalation after subpoenas were issued, while ABC does not explicitly describe it as such. The Guardian mentions a lawsuit filed by the Morales family is among several claims against OpenAI and Google, but ABC does not reference other lawsuits. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 3 of 5. Analysis of the 2026 Michael Jackson biopic Michael and its portrayal of his life. Analysis of the 2026 Michael Jackson biopic Michael and its portrayal of his life. Here's what every outlet agrees on. The film Michael is directed by Antoine Fuqua and produced by Graham King, with John Logan writing the screenplay. Jaffa Jackson, Michael's nephew, plays the adult version of Michael Jackson in the film, following Juliano Valdi as the young Michael. The film's narrative ends around Michael Jackson's 1988 Bad Tour, with a 1988 Wembley Stadium concert as the climax. Coleman Domingo portrays Joseph Jackson, Michael's father, in the biopic. The film includes a recreation of the *thriller music video and references Michael's menagerie of animals, e.g., Bubbles the chimp. But not all outlets told the same story. The Guardian states the film ends with Michael Jackson at 30 years old during the 1988 Wembley concert, while ABC implies the film's narrative ends around the 1988 Bad Tour but does not specify his age. The Guardian describes Jaffa Jackson's performance as a childlike Parsag birdsong voice, while ABC calls it warm, sometimes soulful, with contagious smile and uncanny impersonation. The Guardian mentions the film's runtime as 127 minutes explicitly, while ABC does not specify a runtime but describes the film as unfolding at a breakneck clip. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 4 of 5. FBI Director Kash Patel faces defamation lawsuit over Atlantic report on alleged misconduct. FBI Director Kash Patel faces defamation lawsuit over Atlantic report on alleged misconduct. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Kash Patel sued The Atlantic for $250 million, ABC reports $348 million, but Guardian confirms $250 million claim over a report detailing allegations of excessive drinking and erratic behavior. The Atlantic article cited more than 24 current and former FBI officials as sources for claims about Patel's conspicuous inebriation and unexplained absences. Patel denied the allegations in a statement to The Atlantic. "Print it, all false, I'll see you in court, bring your checkbook." The Atlantic changed its headline from "Kash Patel's erratic behavior could cost him his job" to "The FBI Director is MIA" after publication. Patel's lawsuit alleges The Atlantic acted with actual malice by ignoring his pre-publication refutations and failing to give adequate time to respond. But not all outlets told the same story. ABC reports Patel's lawsuit initially sought $348 million in damages, while Guardian articles confirm the figure as $250 million. The Guardian mentions Patel's lawsuit alleges The Atlantic acted with actual malice, but ABC does not explicitly state this as a key claim in its headline or summary. Guardian's Article 2 states Patel threatened to sue before filing, while ABC's Article 3 frames it as a follow-through on a pre-existing threat. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian. Story 5 of 5. Adelaide Writers week appoints new director after 2026 crisis over Randa Abdel-Fattah cancellation. Adelaide Writers week appoints new director after 2026 crisis over Randa Abdel-Fattah cancellation. Here's what every outlet agrees on. Rosemary Milsom was appointed as the new director of Adelaide Writers Week for the next 3 years, starting mid-May 2026. Louise Adler resigned as Adelaide Writers Week director in January 2026 after the festival board cancelled Palestinian-Australian author Randa Abdel-Fattah's scheduled appearance. The cancellation of Randa Abdel-Fattah's appearance led to a mass writer boycott, the resignation of the entire Adelaide Festival Board, and the cancellation of the 2026 Adelaide Writers Week. South Australian Premier Peter Malinauskas wrote a letter to the Adelaide Festival Board in January 2026 expressing concern about Abdel-Fattah's inclusion, citing the October 7, 2023 Bondi attack. Rosemary Milsom previously faced pressure to remove authors from the 2024 Newcastle Writers' Festival but refused, and the festival saw record attendance in 2026 with no boycotts. But not all outlets told the same story. The ABC states that the Adelaide Festival Board disinvited Randa Abdel-Fattah after seeking advice from Premier Malinauskas, while The Guardian implies the board acted independently before consulting him. The ABC mentions that the new Adelaide Festival Board invited Abdel-Fattah to speak at the 2027 festival as a gesture of apology, while The Guardian notes that only one writer, Abdel-Fattah, has been invited so far, without explicitly stating it was an apology gesture. This story was covered by ABC News and The Guardian.